want to get to this one really quickly. So Tanner said, I am making cold calls and very few people answer. When they have, I ask if they'd like to go over the options. So I kind of list them out. Then they say, thanks, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, crap. So Tanner, give them the options and ask them questions. Don't just tell them the first thing you need to do is loan reinstatement. The second one you need to do is loan modification. The third one you got to go through is selling this house. The fourth one is I'll buy it creatively. You don't do that. When you're talking to homeowners and they're in these situations, this is very big. I would write this part down. You need them to come to the conclusion on their own. Get the homeowner to come to the conclusion on their own. Let it be their idea. Let them, what do they want to do? Maybe they want to sell it. Maybe they want to try and stay. Well, great. If you guys want to stay, let's go through every option. And what I'm going to do in this call, Michael, this call is going to last between 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to ask you a few questions so I can figure out what the best solution will be for you. If at any point in this call, what I'm asking you doesn't make sense, or if I've confused you, feel free to ask me to stop and explain it. And if you feel like I'm not a good fit for you, it will not hurt my feelings to say, Caroline, buzz off, go spend your time elsewhere. I have a few other appointments with some families that have an auction next week that I need to get to before that happens. And then if at any point during this call, Michael, I feel like I'm not a good fit for you, would it be okay for you out to somebody else?
No, that's great.
Okay, I'm asking questions the entire time, and then I'm going to go into the first one. So, Michael, just so I can understand, I want to make sure that I'm on the same page and I'm giving you the best solutions. Can you catch me up to speed? How did we get in this situation? Well, I lost my job. I fell behind. I had medical bills. I had to take care of a loved one. Now we understand it. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have a pen and paper, Michael? I want you to write this down so you can see it in front of you. I'm a visual learner, so you can talk to me all day, but if you tell it to me, I'm not going to retain it. Yeah, I got a pen and paper. Okay, so the first option is a loan reinstatement. Michael, what do you know about a loan reinstatement?
Well, I have been looking into that. I know I've gotten a few mortgage statements. They said I was like $12,000 behind. That was from a couple weeks ago, and I've been wanting to talk to my family and friends about it, but they just don't have the money, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, I understand that, and yeah, it sounds like it's probably been a little overwhelming for you. Well, there's a few options in here. So the first one is understanding where you are behind it. When did you get that document? How long ago?
I got the mortgage statement about 2 weeks ago, but I did get a notice from my foreclosure attorney that there's a foreclosure sale in 3 weeks. So I'm getting a little nervous about it.
Okay, foreclosure sale in 3 weeks. And there's also going to be some like attorney fees and some late payments. So I like to play devil's advocate and be safe. So 12,000, let's just be safe and just overestimate. Let's just say it's $16,000 just in case there's extra fees we don't know about.
That's fair.
Okay. So if we know it's like right around 16,000, do you have access to maybe a retirement fund or a 401k that you can borrow against to catch this up?
Through work, I do have a 401k, but I did talk to the boss at my company, and they thought it would take maybe 30 days to even get that approved. So I don't think that's going to end up being an option for me.
Okay. And I know you said your family and friends don't have, enough to help you right now. Is there anything that you could potentially sell to come up with that 16,000?
I mean, I have a car and a motorcycle, but those are probably only worth like $5,000. So I don't know if that's going to do me any good either.
Okay. Well, I mean, is there anything else you think you can do to come up with that $16,000 for the reinstatement?
No, I've been thinking about it, and I've actually been through this process before. Last time I filed bankruptcy, and I don't have the money. I don't see it coming to me in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so it sounds like we probably need to take the loan reinstatement off the options right now. Fair?
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Okay, well, that's the first step I'm trying to get home. The next one is a loan.
Before we move on, notice how she kind of prodded me and guided me down several paths. It wasn't just the first one's reinstatement, the second one's loan modification. It was really diving into every aspect of a reinstatement. And you're guiding them down that mental track of, have you talked to your family? Do you have the money? Do you have a 401k? Could you take out a short-term loan? Any of these things. And you really, over here, who said it? Alex Broking said Inception. That's the movie where they try to plan an idea in someone else's head. you're trying to get them to go through the process, really analyze, and disqualify themselves from that option. So Caroline guided me through it. I disqualified myself from reinstatement. Now we're ready for the second one.
Okay. So, all right, so let's just take statement off. That's the first option, my favorite one to give homeowners to get everything caught up. The next one, Michael, is called a loan modification. Now, I'm a little concerned about this one. Do you have any idea why?
Well, I've tried looking into a loan modification. The paperwork seemed overwhelming. The lender said it might take a few months to get qualified. And then they did tell me that I have to have a job, and I don't have one right now. So that's kind of a problem. So it just seems kind of unrealistic that would go through. But
yeah, and that's, they need at least 37 days before the auction to even consider the paperwork. And you said your auction's in 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we might be out of time. And if you're not employed right now, you're absolutely right. You have to be employed, and they're going to want to know how your credit is. So, man, I don't see how there's any way we can do that modification. So those are the first 2 ways that I really like to help homeowners stay in the home. I think, would you say it's safe we probably can't go through the loan mod route?
I mean, I'll probably fill out the paperwork and send it over, but I don't think I can rely on that right now.
When can you get that sent over to the bank?
I have a day off tomorrow, so I can try to get that done tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Just, the sooner the better, because bureaucracies, banks are so backed up, they take forever, and sometimes one department doesn't talk to the other. So just want to make sure you get that in. Now, this is where we're going to pivot in the conversation. We're still talking about stopping the auction, and we're going to go through what's available to you. So the next way that we can make sure that there's not a foreclosure on your record is selling this house for cash. Okay, now, I don't know how you feel about that. Have you thought about selling this for cash?
I mean, I'd really wanted to keep the house. My kids are in the school district here, and it would be hard to take them from this situation. But at the end of the day, I've just been fighting for a long time to keep this place. And I know I've got quite a bit of equity in it. And it's just like, I just get tired of, not being able to pay my bills. And it's hard on me as a father. So I've thought about it. But I don't know what I want for the house or anything.
Okay. Well, it seems like, how long have you lived here?
I've lived here about 18 years now.
18 years. And then do you know what your total payoff is for your mortgage at the moment?
The last time I looked, right around 200, but I don't think that includes how much I'm behind. And I'm about 6 months behind right now. So I'm probably about 10 grand behind. So probably somewhere around 210.
210. Okay. Well, what we want to do, and this is what we've done for other homeowners before, is same situation. They're just overwhelmed. They want to have some breathing room, and they want to be able to get a fresh start. And I know this house is near and dear to you, and your kids are in the school district, but if we could get you, some your equity, get you some money so you could have a fresh new start, and you didn't have to worry about the foreclosure. You don't have to worry about the maintenance on the property anymore. And we can just get you started on a new leaf, new page. Have an idea how much money you would like to have in your pocket after everything so you could have some breathing room?
Well, it would be nice to have at least a year of rent somewhere, and a little bit of extra money too. Maybe if I could walk away with 30, that would be great. But I do have a few weeks left. Do you have any other options? I'm not quite ready to sell yet, but I do know that I might have to do that if all the options don't work here.
Yeah. So there's another option here. So I want to just make sure I've gotten this one covered. So the cash sale, you can be in and out, take it as is. I'm sure you've probably heard other people talk about it. Make sure the closing costs are covered, just net to you, and help you sometimes with the moving expenses. There is a final option. And I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in. We helped a woman. Her husband passed away a few months ago, and she's working on her own, and she's making $1,400 a month. Well, her mortgage is $1,300 a month, and she's been behind for the last 4 months. So what we were able to do to her, she was tired of living here. Phoenix is too hot. She's over it. She actually wanted to move to the bluegrass state into Kentucky, and she was really concerned about her credit. She does have a job, but it's really impacting her getting able to go anywhere else with just worrying about all of the bills. So what we were able to do is we bought her house creatively, okay? Got the back payments that she had. We put her mortgage back in good standing, and then we started making the payments on her behalf. So now she has a loan in her name that's in good standing. It's helping rebuild her credit.
That seems really complicated. I don't really understand what you're talking about. I mean, I've only sold a couple of houses in my life. That sounds pretty advanced. What?
Oh, you know what?
Can you kind of explain that a little more simple to me?
Yeah, and you know that's on me. I'm doing a bad job of explaining it. So let me break this down to a simpler term. What we were able to do is we were able to put some money in her pocket so she started on her next chapter. We caught her mortgage up and we started making the payments for her. We bought the property and we let her stay in the house another month and a half so she could find the next property that she wanted to move into. So we bought the house. We're actually going to fix it up. We're turning it into affordable housing for veterans. And she doesn't have to worry about this anymore. And she's into her next chapter. She actually lives in Kentucky now. Did that make more sense?
Is that even legal?
Yeah, actually, we bought quite a few houses this way, and so have my partners. I don't know if you've heard of East West Properties. If you look them up on Google, they've bought a lot of houses this way, so homeowners get back into good standing. Yeah, but if you want to go over it, it's even on the HUD statement when you purchase houses. It's called Subject to.
Sub 2. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone that I should look up on? I'd like to see if this is legit or not online. Is there any videos that you would recommend or anything that I can kind of educate myself?
Yeah, there's quite a few people. The first one I would say would be looking at Pace Morby. You can find him on YouTube. Okay. He's got quite a bit. And then another guy's name's Michael Frankie. He's bought quite a few houses that way. The main thing is, and this is down the road. We don't have to go that route. I just want to let you know that there are those options. You might have some money come in that you can get this reinstatement, but I wanted to let you know that these are available to you.
Okay.
And that's what we have right now. What questions do you have?
Well, I don't think I want to do the subject to thing. I just don't want that someone else to own the house and something weird happen. And I'm thinking about, down the road, having a home that I'm going to buy or get a new car. I just don't want that on my credit. So I'm kind of more interested in the cash route. I think I'd like just kind of cut ties with the house, but I'm kind of freaked out on the whole thought of moving. I've been here for 18 years now, and we got a lot of stuff, and the thought of trying to wrap this up and think about my kids having to go to a new school and packing everything. I mean, is there anything else you can do to help? I'm just kind of overwhelmed and makes me not know what to do next.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. So there are ways that we can definitely help. We've actually brought over movers to help you load everything up, and we've even brought a dumpster over. So if you have stuff, there's like, man, I got to pick through. Do we keep this? Do we get rid of this? So we can bring a dumpster to the front. You guys can fill it up as many times as you'd like, and we can get some movers to come help you get the big items out of there and on to the next chapter. If you guys decide you want to just,
is that going to cost me anything? So, to be honest, I don't have any money.
No, we'd take that. That'd be one of our expenses. So we'd take that off of you. We want to take, when you work with us, we want to make sure you have the white glove treatment. We're going to take away all those headaches. We want to make it as simple as possible for you.
Okay. Well, what's kind of the next step? I'd kind of like to look into one more time having a conversation with my family to see if they can have some money, because I'd really like to save the house, but it just doesn't seem like that is going to happen. And then I might call my lender about the loan modification thing and see if they'll help. But if I happen to want to go down the cash route, what's kind of the process?
Great question. So if you want to go down the cash route, what I would like to know is there anybody else that's going to have, an opinion on this? Is your wife going to be involved, or anybody else that's going to have a say on the house?
Yeah, my wife will be involved, but she kind of leaves these decisions up to me. She'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah. So going down the cash route and selling it as is, really what I'd like you to do is kind of think where you would like to be. If I could, in a perfect world, what would you like to walk away with? What we'll do is I can even come by and we can go through this together. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that you guys are set up for success. And we can figure out where we can make it a win-win scenario to where you guys have some breathing room. You you can have enough to get into an apartment or somewhere else for the time being while you get back up on your feet. And from there, after we have another conversation, how about we talk tomorrow? You can think on it today or talk to some family after you've spoken to the bank, and we can see what makes sense so we can get you guys into the next chapter out of this headache. What do you say?
Okay. One more question for you. I've lived here a long time. Is this going to be one of those things where you buy the house and then I have like no time to get out? I don't want to be rushed and all that.
That's a great question. So what we can do is we've done a purchase where we will buy the property, and we've let homeowners, not all the time, special occasions, but we'll let homeowners stay in for a couple extra weeks just until they get their bearings. I know you said your auction's in 3 weeks from today. If I could, say and I'm not sure I can, but just say if I could get you between $15,000 to $20,000. I need to double check with my team, but it seems like that's right around where we could potentially be. Get you around $15,000 to $20,000, and let you stay in here until the end of March. What would we do next, Michael?
Well, I'd need to check my finances, make sure that type of number's going to work. I'd really like closer to 30. I can't imagine us being able to move in shorter than 45 days or so. So if you could get that number up a little bit and maybe give me a little bit more time, I think that maybe we could do something, but I'd want to talk it over with my wife and look at those first couple options. But yeah, I'd be happy to talk again here in next couple of days.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm writing this down. So if we could get you, 45 more days in the property, and if I can make it to where we're close to $30,000, we'd probably move forward if the bank options don't work out.
Yeah, I think that would put us in a position to where we could have enough money to kind of have a new start and a little bit of breathing room there.
Okay, so how about this, Michael? Let me reach out to my partner. He's actually on the phone with another family we're working with quite at the moment. Let me see if we can make this happen. I'll call tomorrow. Is the afternoon or morning best for me to contact you?
I'm usually more of an afternoon person.
Afternoon guy. Well, I have an appointment available between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. Do either of those times work for you?
Well, I think 4 would work okay.
4 would work? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to text you. Is this your cell phone?
Yeah.
Right. I'll text you to confirm this. I'm going to block out from 4 to 5 o'clock. I'll be free so we can talk about everything. Let me talk to them. I'm a person that really likes to ask for forgiveness and not permission. So if I need to forego, if I can cut it down a little bit and we can get closer to that 30,000 so you guys can get a fresh start, let's do it by all means. Let me just talk and make sure this is a good fit for us. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I have you locked in. And what I'm going to do is make sure it says there's 45 days for you guys to stay in the property. We're going to set up so we have movers come over and bring a dumpster out so you guys don't have to worry about any of that. And then we all have a few tools in our tool belt where we can help you guys out with some food and maybe some meals for the next few weeks. I know it might be a little tight. And set you on the right path to get that credit rebuilt. What do you say?
No, I really appreciate that. I've had so many people come by, and you're the only person that's really acted like you care. Everyone else just kind of seemed like they wanted to steal my house from me. So I really appreciate that and look forward to talking tomorrow.
Well, Michael, thank you for your time. I will call you tomorrow, and I'll shoot you a text here in a moment so you have my information.
All right. Thanks.
Boom. Bye. All right. So good role play, Michael. What could I have done better during the cash offer section? I probably spent too much time going into that. I should have just touched on it and gone straight over to creative and then come back and figure out what you wanted.
So I did say in that I'd been through the foreclosure process more than once. So some of those options were kind of off the table. No, I think you did a good job. I'd have to re-watch the conversation to really see what suggestions there are. What suggestions do you guys have that we could have done better for Caroline there? Obviously, I could have been a more difficult seller, and if you want to see that, we did it the opposite way in our role play last time. But Caroline was really rough seller on me. So if you want to watch that video, it's on my YouTube. So because not every seller is going to be that easy.
Let me pull it up so you guys can see, just because I know we got over 90 people on here right now. I'm going to show you guys Michael's YouTube so it's easy for you guys to find. This is his YouTube channel. When you come over here, just so you guys know. So say I unsubscribe, okay? When you guys do subscribe, click on subscribe and then change it over to all. So anytime we go live or anytime you post a video, you'll get an alert. But you scroll down here, how to deal with an angry seller. We did this one, man, 3 months ago. This is our role play from 3 months ago when I was a reseller to him, and then I was a nicer seller. So Michael was very kind to me being that nice seller. So lots of good stuff on YouTube. You guys can watch that. And he even paid for somebody to edit it and put the entire script on there for you. But all of his other videos we were just talking about, door knocking live, calling sellers, they're all in here so you guys can watch that and get some value from it. Okay, so let's see what the comments were. Everybody's just saying, you guys are being too nice. Monica and Kaylee were like, you guys killed it. That's so good. Alex said, but he only has 3 weeks. Selling it is buying time to move and saves him from a foreclosure. Yeah, but Alex, I'm not going to come in here and say, Michael, your only option is to sell it to me. Okay. Yeah. We remember the goal is to get them to come to a conclusion on their own. Talking at somebody or asking them questions like, what would you rather have somebody just talk at you and not care about what you want? Or do you want somebody to be more interested than interesting? Nobody really cares about you at the end of the day. Michael, you got something?
Yeah, you just want to be the trusted advisor. Remember how an interesting exercise you can have, let's say you lock up one of these deals, is to have a conversation with the seller afterward and say, hey, I'm just curious. I'm so excited that we're working together and look forward to serving you. But some of those other people that came and contacted you, what were those conversations like? What made you go with me? And it's remarkable the amount of times they'll just say, well, they just came up and they just said, hey, I can put a few $1,000s in your pocket and buy the house. You got to be out in a few weeks. It's amazing how harsh some of these other people speak to these sellers. So you want to be completely the opposite, as helpful as physically possible. The vast majority of these people don't want to sell initially. So you need to lean into that, give them options to stop the auction on their own, knowing that if they go through this thing a few times, a few cycles of foreclosure, they're going to run out of options. But you're trying to guide them to cash or sub 2, but you give them those options and open up their mind to the possibility that you're okay with not making any money. You're just there to serve. And that sets you apart so much in this situation. And that's what you're looking for. At the end of the day, they run out of options. Who are they going to choose? The harsh guy or Caroline that is walking me through these options slowly and methodically there?